Too long, but this is a huge group. This is probably the largest group that we've ever sworn in and the largest group of spectators that we've ever had. We apologize for the cramped conditions. This is the largest room we have in the Sheriff's office, and unfortunately it's inadequate sometimes when you have this many people. And I want to start out the program by talking a little bit about why we're doing this, why we have so many employees that we are swearing in today. Actually, there are 20 new employees coming on board with the Sheriff's Office today. And, you know, this is a tough economic time, and a lot of agencies are laying people off. A lot of agencies are not hiring right now, and the Sheriff's Office in Clay County is not like that. We're actually hiring. And the reason we're doing that is to save the taxpayers money and to work within the confines of the budget restraints that we find ourselves in today. And that seems a little counterintuitive. You know, how come if you're trying to save money, you're hiring all these folks? Well, let me explain to you a little bit about what we're doing here today and why this is so unusual for the Sheriff's Office. We know we're facing a tough economic time because of the lack of ad valorem taxes, because of the value of property has dropped so much over the last few years during the downturn in our economy. The Sheriff's Office in Clay County receives 72% of all of the property taxes, all the ad valorem taxes in the county comes to run the Sheriff's Office. So when that budget is reduced drastically, we know we are going to take a severe hit in the budget that we receive to operate the Sheriff's Office each year. Well, one of the things that we pride ourselves on is delivering a tremendously high level of service to our community. And one of the things I'm committed to is not cutting the level of service to our community and making Clay County as safe a community as we can have. But when you have to lose personnel, personnel is what drives the train basically and makes your community safe, because having officers on the street. So we're the first Sheriff's Office in the state that I'm aware of to develop the program that we're instituting here today with a limited duty civilian and limited duty officer programs. We call them LDOs and LDCs. These 20 people you see sitting in front of us here today are the inaugural class, the very first group that we've hired through this process, through this program, that we're putting into place using people who are part-time and non-permanent positions that are working with less income per hour, hourly wage, and without benefits. And this is, benefits cost about 30% of the cost of an employee. Now we know this is an unusual situation, and we appreciate the fact that these men and women are willing to step up and serve their communities for less than their compatriots that are already out there on the street working right now will be earning and receiving. And we appreciate that. We appreciate the fact that you're willing to step up and do this. And it's not without reward. One day, when this economy gets better, and we know it will, I have faith in our country, I have faith in our economic system, we know that it'll get better. These men and women sitting here today will be the first people that will be the ones that will be hired for permanent full-time jobs when they become available. They will have received their training, they will have received experience, and they will have had an opportunity to prove themselves in the agency, and they will be the first group that will be eligible for those full-time positions. But I do thank you on behalf of the citizens of Clay County and the members of this agency, because what we're doing is we're protecting the jobs and benefits of the people who are already here. We've spent many years building up a very capable and competent law enforcement agency that has a clearance rate twice the state's average, that consistently solves all of our major crimes, that is just a model for other law enforcement agencies across the country. And we don't want to lose that core workforce. I'm committed to laying no one off. I'm committed to cutting no one's salaries or benefits. We're going to make sure that the staff that we value so much and that does such a great job is intact after this tough economic situation is over. And the men and women you see here today are the first group that's going to help accomplish that for us. At the same time, we're allowing them to get their start in law enforcement, to get their start in a law enforcement agency, gain that valuable experience when they have graduated from a police academy class recently, and no agencies out there are hiring right now. So even though they may be accepting a little less on the front end, they're getting something in return, and I think it's going to work well for both the community, the taxpayers, the law enforcement agencies, and everyone involved. So this is a great experiment. We hope it works. We hope that you will make this a success through your service, through your contributions, through your efforts. And if so, there'll be another class coming along, hopefully in another couple of months as you finish your field training and you go out and assume your role as a full-time, part-time member of our agency. That will work well for the community. I'd like to say a little bit about some of the folks that are coming on board with us today. We've got so many, I'm not going to give a full biography or resume on each one, but I would like to introduce them to the members of the audience and to the members of the staff that are present today. First, we have our limited duty officer position, Chad Amera, and I'll go in the order that they're seated here on the front row. Chad comes to us from completing his law enforcement academy in October of last year, and he previously had worked in the automotive industry. Nicholas Burke completed his associate's degree in 2009 and completed the law enforcement academy in July of last year. He joins his father, Lieutenant Russ Burke, and his uncle, Deputy Andrew Burke, as he begins his career in law enforcement here in Clay County. Sean Hamilton completed law enforcement academy in June of last year, and he comes to us with a background in security work. Reginald Hyde is beginning his law enforcement career in Clay County after completing the academy in March of last year. He previously worked at the San Jose Country Club. Barry Coleman served in the United States Navy and is currently serving as a reserve. He's also beginning his law enforcement career after completing the academy in December of 2010. Barry Lovett completed the law enforcement academy in January of 2010 and joins us from the construction industry. Cammie Mertz is rejoining the Sheriff's Office after completing the law enforcement academy. She had previously served as our sexual offender specialist, and she is married to Sheriff's Office K-9 Deputy Mark Mertz. Michael Zissel completed his law enforcement academy in December of last year, and he comes to us with a background in security work and sales. That completes our limited duty officer positions. Our civilian control room operators are going to be Dale Batten. He joins the other Batten brothers, Sergeant Danny Batten and Deputy Gary Batten, along with his sister-in-law, Diana Batten, as he begins his career here at the Sheriff's Office. As you can see, it's a family affair. We've got a lot of Battens here. Irvin Cohn retired from the U.S. Army and served as a career consultant prior to joining the Sheriff's Office. Timothy Mulvaney has a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from UNF and completed his law enforcement academy in December of last year. He previously worked at the Fleming Island Golf Course. William Penders is retired from the U.S. Navy and worked in management prior to joining the Sheriff's Office. Carol Price is rejoining the workforce after retiring from the Department of Labor and Employment Security. She's joining her daughter, Deputy Lee Seri, here at the Sheriff's Office. Alvin Smith is joining us after serving as a youth counselor for several years. Crystal Weisseny is rejoining the law enforcement field after serving in the Lee and the Orange County Sheriff's Offices, as well as serving as a substitute teacher in Volusia County. We have some reserve deputies who are going to be starting with us today as well. Angel Acosta completed the Law Enforcement Academy in July of last year and is currently serving as a corrections officer with the Department of Corrections. Richard Miller completed the Law Enforcement Academy in August 2009 and is currently currently employed at Gustafson's Dairy. And Stephanie Smith attended the Law Enforcement Academy in the evenings while employed in the Sheriff's Office as a dispatcher. She finished in October of last year and she'll be joining our reserve unit. And finally, we have two other folks. Part-time accounting analyst Angie Ivy joined us in January of this year, but she has not had her swearing in up until now. So she's been here a couple months, but she's going to take the oath of office today. And finally, a full-time patrol deputy who's going to be transferring from our detention security section to the Operations Bureau is Deputy Andrew Burke, where he'll now be beginning to serve as a patrol deputy. So that's the class of 2011, our first LDO, LDC, and CCRO officers that we have coming on board. So proud to have you all here. This is an auspicious occasion. It is something that we find to be a very solemn event when you take your oath of office. The oath of office is a very sacred vow that you take, and I take them very seriously. You're swearing your allegiance to the state of Florida, the United States, and the Clay County, and our constitutions, that you will uphold the law, and it's an oath that you should take reverently and with great solemnity. So if you will stand now, and I'm going to administer the loyalty oath and the oath of office. All employees will take the loyalty oath first, and then the oath of office will be administered only to sworn personnel. So if you all raise your right hand and repeat after me.
Duck.
I state your name.
I state your name.
A citizen of the state of Florida.
A citizen of the state of Florida.
And of the United States of America.
And the United States of America.
And being employed by.
And being employed by.
Or an officer of the Clay County Sheriff's Office.
Or an officer of the Clay County Sheriff's Office.
And a recipient of public funds.
And a recipient of public funds.
As such employee or officer.
As such employee or officer.
Do hereby solemnly swear or affirm.
Do hereby solemnly swear or affirm.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
And of the state of Florida.
And of the state of Florida.
Okay, this will be for the sworn officers only, the oath of office. I do solemnly swear or affirm.
I do solemnly swear or affirm.
That I will support, protect, and defend.
I will support, protect, and defend.
The Constitution and government of the United States.
The Constitution and government of the United States.
And of the state of Florida.
And of the state of Florida.
That I am duly qualified to hold office.
That I am duly qualified to hold office.
Under the Constitution of the state.
Under the Constitution of the state.
That I will well and faithfully perform.
I will well and faithfully perform.
The duties of Deputy Sheriff of Clay County.
The duties of Deputy Sheriff of Clay County.
On which I am about to enter.
On which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.